Small business is about courage, risk-taking, independence, and we small business owners are survivors. Everybody has an idea for a business, but how do you take that idea from mind to market? This is the place to learn.
Small Business School with Hattie Bryant.
It's a new kind of school. Together we'll learn about business from the inside out, from the people who've done it. We'll meet the men and women who are today's pioneers and quiet heroes. Their lives are the textbooks. Our classroom is the world.
Small Business School is made possible by support from the United States Postal Service, delivering the promise to America's 23 million small and growing businesses. There's no wait at the post office in your own office. USPS.com is waiting for you. And by Microsoft.
We see you building a new company from an old company. We see a business full of potential. We're inspired to create software that helps you reach it.
Hi, I'm Hattie Bryant. We believe that there's a bit of genius in every person. For most of us, it's just waiting to come out or be pushed out. Today we meet a man who could spot your genius. He finds it in everyone around him and then he cultivates it. The results are just incredible. The great business owners understand that people can't be shoved into cubicles and forgotten about. People can't be cut into work and personal sections with owners ignoring the personal part. In our hundreds of in-depth case studies, we have come to know business owners who see their role not as CEO, but as coach, mentor, teacher, parent, and guide to the people they employ. Want to grow your business? Learn now from a genius, a man who truly understands how to bring out the best in the people who join him on his path. Albert Black is a self-proclaimed capitalist. The baby of 7 children, Albert grew up in government-subsidized housing. He started his first business when he was just 8 years old, and today he's making his dreams come true.
You know, for me, the roots of capitalism took place right here in Frazier Courts. I remember going up to the office and renting a pushmower and knocking on doors and cutting yards for 50 cents. The things that I do today, my father talked about when I was just 8 years old. My father worked at a hotel, and he was the gentleman that used to have people, he was the doorman.
The doorman.
And being the doorman, he really came to know some of Dallas's business leaders. And he would come home, and later on in life, when he wasn't doing that job anymore, he would talk to me about being a businessman and being a business leader.
Albert founded On Target Supplies and Logistics in 1982, and he now employs 114 people, generating $10.2 million in sales. The company supplies its customers with copy and computer paper and is now selling virtual warehousing services. His customer list includes the who's who of Dallas: EDS, Texas Instruments, Texas Utilities, American Airlines, and Verizon. How did you get your first customer?
I think we roamed, obviously we roamed the streets of Dallas looking for customers under highways, rocks, byways, anywhere we could find them. The reason I went into business is the same reason I'm in business today. We wanted to create jobs and to hire people. We think that's God's work, and that's what we wanted to be involved in. We also wanted to improve the infrastructure of inner cities and communities that we were doing business in. We pay people well. The average income of on-target people, now understand we're in the warehousing and distribution business, right, and the average income is $29,800. Yep. So we have actually come into a neighborhood and taken tax users and make them tax producers. You know, that's the idea. This was an abandoned building in the ghetto that looked much like the building across there. We took a crack center and made it a commerce center. I told you I was corny, and I am.
Hey, it works, it rhymes, I remember it.
It works for me.
Albert started On Target soon after college graduation, but poor cash flow forced both him and his wife Gwyneth to get jobs to support the business.
I had to get a second job. I worked at night, but I had a goal. Not only would I earn income, but I would pick up a skill set, a management ability, a competency that I could bring into my company and make it work. Texas Utilities permitted me to work in their computer operations. I managed information systems, I managed technology development. I managed customer satisfaction on a technology piece.
This was at night?
This was at night. It was from 5 o'clock every night until 1 o'clock in the morning.
So
and I still had to be at work at 7 o'clock in the morning.
You were here at 7 to 5, then
Yes.
went to your job to get some dollars, some cash flow.
Yes.
How many months or years did you do that?
10 years.
10 years.
Great years.
Do you all hear this? I mean, can you understand this? Oh my gosh.
I think our ability to listen, to plan, to present, to perform, to review, and to adjust is what corporate clients need today more than any other time in their history. The flexibility of the supplier must be so demonstrated that it's continuously changing and continuously adding value and continuously redefining value for our customers. Normally, Lone Star Gas Company received product dock to dock, from our dock to theirs. We came in with a strategy to take it to desktop distribution. Same price. That saved them time, it saved them money, it saved them inventory expense.
But wait a minute, then you had to hire someone extra
Sure.
to take from the dock to the people's desks and to figure out which person needed what.
Sure.
But you knew how, you did that.
Yeah, we know how to design those particular systems. That's the value we add to that supply chain. If we didn't, we shouldn't be in it.
Albert has served in many capacities at the Dallas Chamber of Commerce, including the president of the Chamber Board. Here's Albert in action.
Mr. Chairman, Small Business Resource Council is running and functioning properly. The approach that On Target decided to take as a business strategy was to get involved in communities, to get involved with leadership and providing leadership for the nonprofit organizations in and around town. We thought volunteering for those nonprofit organizations would give us the type of exposure, give us the type of connectivity and network. While doing real good for the city of Dallas, we would be able to make business friends that eventually we could call on and get their corporate business.
I think Albert was very smart because he knows that often business is about relationships. It's about people doing business with people.
John Castle, an officer at EDS, serves as Albert's board chairman.
One thing I found very attractive from Albert after the first lunch was the fact he had such an attitude about, I want to learn. The role we play is a sounding board. Albert brings to us his ideas, his strategies, and we give him our perspective on what he's saying. And often it's a different perspective of what we've seen, how other companies have gone through, some phases he's going through.
I think John Castle, who is a friend and someone that I think is an angel that has flown into my Christian life, he advised the board of directors. He felt that On Target was getting into the serious business arena. Once we got over the $10 million mark, he felt that our strategic direction needed a little bit more challenge, a little bit more balance, a little bit more experience added to it.
He's very open with us. And again, that's Albert's attitude about, I want to learn more.
As the business leader, I think what we have to do is learn to listen and learn. Teach, preach, coach, and counsel. I think we have to do those things in order to be effective leaders. If we don't prepare ourselves for that type of leadership, what we will find is the organization will grow bigger than us, consume us, and we'll be at risk of losing our positions.
All right, you said teach, preach, coach, and counsel. Can you tell me the difference?
Yeah, I think I can. I think you need to start with listening.
All right.
And have that become a learning experience. To teach is to come from the intellectual side for me. Preach is to be emotional. We need emotion in business. Coach is to be able to control and direct. Counsel is to be able to be empathetic to people and give them some sort of advice and direction as they move forward with their careers.
Albert put himself through college on a football scholarship and completed his MBA from Southern Methodist University in 1995. Would you advise going back to school for other small business owners?
I think it should be a mandate. The reason being, we have to be leaders in organizations not because of our positions, but because of the contributions that we can make to that organization. We have to continuously resharpen the saw, find new information, new strategies, new principles, new foundations to employ in our business. And if we don't do that, well, we can look to be fired as the leaders of our organizations. How do people fire us? They quit. I think leadership and the mandate on leadership is get the job done. If it means an ultimate sacrifice of giving all of your time and energy, all of your hopes, dreams, aspiration, and prayers toward that endeavor, I think that's what we must do. I think we're crossing the boundaries of where safe leaders go. I'm not a safe leader. I take risk. That's one of the characteristics of an entrepreneur.
What do you mean, safe leader?
I think a safe leader will say, I won't get into the personal lives of the people that I employ. And I do get into the personal lives of the people that I employ. I like to see people with a savings rate that will get them to a level of security that all of us working together should expect to get to. So we encourage people to be a part of On Target's 401k plan and to be what we call a 20% saver. The law permits most of our people to save as much as 20%, and we match 25%. That's too advantageous for people not to be involved in. We encourage it.
And then we like to get people involved in something as simple as spending right. So we have a lot of seminars here for our employees on how to spend the money that they're earning and how to go about earning more money. And then from there we go into savings. 95% of our employees are enrolled in our company 401k plan. You don't get 95% without a little arm twisting. And so we twist a lot of arms to get people involved.
What happens every Friday morning at 7 o'clock here?
Every Friday morning at 7 o'clock we have a staff meeting, and in that staff meeting we get a chance to teach, preach, coach, counsel, listen, and learn from our employees. We get a chance to share the books of the company, the financial statements of the company, and go beyond just open book management into actually teaching and receiving feedback on those financials.
And you serve breakfast?
We serve breakfast. We serve you a hot breakfast. We expect for you to be here on time, and so we have that reward here when you get here. It's a hot breakfast. We like for people to come in, get comfortable, enjoy a good breakfast, and then open up their hearts and minds so that we can do that teaching, preaching, coaching, and counseling.
Well,
but
yeah.
There's nothing against the rules in helping people have better lives. I think that that's the difference between corporate leadership and some of the leadership that you see in small business. I think that you see a lot more courage in leadership than you do in large corporations.
We also encourage people to continue their education. As a company, we're willing to pay for it. As a CEO or a leader, I'm willing to insist on it. Whereas there's no written policy at On Target Supplies and Logistics that you must go to college and achieve a bachelor's degree or you will be fired. But I think everybody around here knows that when Albert sat down with you and give you that old South Dallas smile and insist that you, or it suggests that you go to college, I think they get the message.
When you invest in someone's education, is it coming back into On Target Supplies profits?
I don't remember a situation where we've invested in education that I didn't feel like the company got more than a fair return. You learn that work works. What happens is people are becoming members of the free enterprise system. They are saving, they're investing, they are building trust. They're for the first time in their life earning more money than they need to spend. If you ever want to think you want to do that.
I think putting together a team of well-trained, highly motivated, customer service-oriented professionals here at On Target is the key to success. I think hiring people like Lorene Brooks Smith.
They don't teach you this stuff in school. They don't even prepare you for this type of stuff in school, but it has been rewarding financially for my family and myself.
Hiring people like Cherry Darth.
I handle all the orders that are actually phoned in.
Hiring people like Georgie Cornelius.
You know, he pushes it out of you because a lot of times people don't succeed because they're afraid. So he really helps people there, and that's really rewarding.
How do you get them, though? How did you get them to come to work for you?
I think what you have to do is share a vision. You have to go out there and make sure that people understand what it is that you're trying to do. You have to offer people that field of dreams. And once they see it, they'll come.
Share with them who you are and what your company stands for. Share with them as much as you can in a full day or two to let them know what that company's hopes, dreams, aspirations, and desires are. What are the values of that particular company? And once that's there, ask them the question after those couple of days, is this a place you really want to work? Let them know that there is a value totem, and each and every person in that organization must adhere to that value totem, and if they don't, well, then they won't be there.
Okay, do this for me. Tell me what my field of dreams is. What am I walking into if I come to work for On Target?
On Target Supplies and Logistics promises people three things. We promise people an educational income. If you come to work with us, you will know how to run a business. We have absolute open book accounting. You will know every expense in this business. You will know every revenue stream. You will know all the cost of sales. You will know how to run a business in a couple of years. That's the educational income. We'll also pay you a psychological income. We want you to feel good about what you're doing at On Target Supplies and Logistics. Just coming in with that spirit decor, that attitude that says, together we can climb mountains and win battles. That's what we offer people, that psychological income of making a contribution every day that makes a difference. The last thing, and the most important thing for some, the least important for me, is the financial income. We will pay you above market. We do not want you to think that coming to work for On Target Supplies and Logistics means that you've got to give up the opportunity to earn maximum salary. We like to bring people in, and over the course of their career here, get them above the industry average, and then so above the industry average that their desire to leave is based on the first two, psychological and educational, and not financial.
What is it that Albert is doing so right? First, he knows his purpose for being in business is to create jobs. He even said, this is God's work. Second, he surrounded himself with a wise board of advisors. And third, he knows that as a service provider, people are his only real asset. The daily challenge for Albert, then, is to hire people who want to learn every aspect of service delivery. Once the person is on the payroll at On Target, Albert multitasks as teacher, preacher, coach, and counselor. One more piece of advice you'll hear from Albert is, people would rather see a sermon than hear one. That really raises the bar for all of us. Albert is a success in business because he is a success with people. At smallbusinessschool.org, there is self-help study for people who want to start a business and for those who want to grow the business they have. To learn more about this episode, choose the overview. You can read every word you're hearing today when you choose the transcript and go deeper with the case study. There's streaming video and access to interactive study guides throughout the site. In 1996, 14 years after he launched On Target, Albert built a 6,000 square foot home for his family right across the street from where he polished wood floors to earn some extra cash.
That story is kind of wrapped in red, white, and blue, isn't it? Mm-hmm. And so we're moving where we dreamed once, and this is the house that Gweneth and I will be living in.
And your two kids.
And Trey and Miss Cora. And let me tell you about some of the things that we chose. We chose the brick because it was the closest brick possible to the brick that we grew up in Frazier Court's housing project. We wanted to sort of like return to our roots in a stylish way, of course. On the back in cast stone will be 503. And oftentimes people ask me, why do you have a back door number? Well, our back door number in the projects was 503, and we've kind of carried that tradition with all the places that we've lived. We think it's an exciting way of acknowledging our past.
Now, is he agreeing with you that he's being satisfied, or are we still having that situation? I think what happens is people would rather see a sermon than hear one any day. They'd rather that I walk with them than just show them the way. But I think small business people cannot become the cookie-cutter mold that oftentimes our corporate partners are. What we have to be is leaders that take risks, that we actually go out there and make a difference in people's lives. It's a matter of going in and making sure that the people that have trusted you with their career are getting the fair return for that trust that they put in you. You see, nothing works like work. This is not welfare. This is work. There are some rules and conditions that we all have to go by. I think that what you have to do is be patient in the education piece of it by continuously informing and making people aware of what ramifications you being late have on the enterprise.
Right.
And once people understand the dire condition that you can put an organization in if they're late, if they're still late, well then that means that they don't care.
So how do we get them to care?
You probably don't, Hattie. At some point you have got to disengage and remove yourself from that relationship.
Okay.
It really is a situation called tough love. And whereas it sounds a lot more favorable for those of us in business to say that you continue to work with people, but at On Target Supplies and Logistics, we have something called a progressive discipline program. The first time a person is late, we sit down and talk with them, and we let them know the ramifications of being late and what type of impact it has on co-workers and the enterprise. Because everybody that's hired has a very important role to play in the enterprise. The second time, we actually write it up and put it in your personnel file. The third time, we'll suspend you for a couple of days. If the 4 times it happened and you're still late, we terminate your employment, and we figure out that one didn't work.
Okay, so it's okay to let someone go if they know the rules and they break the rules.
It's okay. Matter of fact, it goes beyond being okay. I really do encourage it. You see, the reality of responsibility has to be, it has to be demonstrated throughout the relationship between employee and employer. Just because an organization has a big heart doesn't mean that it has a small mind. It has to keep its eye on the bottom line. And when people are late, it's bad for the culture. It's because if it's permitted too much, what will end up taking place is the culture becomes that of being late. At On Target Supplies and Logistics, we think that we're in the distribution business. We deliver on time. And if you're late at work, how can we possibly deliver to our customers on time?
I think we should approach the future with a degree of optimism that says that we have to find the next growth curve in whatever industry we want to be a part of. We have to make sure that we put those factors of production together. We have to make sure that we train labor to take a look at the future and embrace it, as you would say. We have to make sure that we are prepared by making sure that we've saved, we've invested properly in order to finance the future. I think that we also have to make sure that we've got our proper place and understand where it is in the communities that we're a part of, that we have some sort of equity with our customers and the communities that we're a part of, so that they will do fluent thinking with us and help create that future that none of us know what it is. I think my purpose is to build a business and to do those things that I think God would have us do: hire people, improve infrastructure, pay taxes, provide leadership. For the first time, we're managing wealth. On Target works. Right now, it's an extremely profitable company that is producing wealth not only for the principal shareholders, but it's producing wealth for a management team that is now receiving options on equity and becoming a part of the entrepreneurial class themselves by buying into that American dream.
Right here, Bill. I think my mother is a driver. She expected nothing but the best. She is an elitist in her own right, and she didn't think that she should expect anything but the best from her children. And that drives the way we run On Target Supplies and Logistics now. Well, I think we had to speak correctly. We had to walk correctly. We had to have good posture. We had to be clean. We had to make the best grades in school. We had to look at ourselves as champions of whatever cause we're a part of. We lived in the ghetto, but my mother wouldn't permit us to think that way. She used to say, you may live in the ghetto, but you're not ghetto material. And I won't stand for you acting that way. The character, whatever character that I may be able to have, was formed by my grandmother. To treat people with passion, Christian passion, to always look out, as she would say, for the other fella. To do what you say you're going to do. To take care of others before you take care of yourself. To tell the truth. To love and expect to be loved. To put God first your family second, and everything else somewhere after that.
As small business owners, we can't compete for the top graduates from the top schools. So like Albert, we have to teach, preach, coach, and counsel, and truly believe that people are good, that people have potential, that people want to learn and grow. Like Albert has done, if you learn to grow the people who've joined you on your path, those people will grow the business. We'll see you next time.
Small Business School is made possible by support from the United States Postal Service, delivering the promise to America's 23 million small and growing businesses. There's no wait at the post office in your own office. USPS.com is waiting for you. And by Microsoft.
We see you building a new company from an old company. We see a business full of potential. We're inspired to create software that helps you reach it.
If you want to learn more about starting, running, and growing a business, come to our website, smallbusinessschool.org. There are streaming video and interactive study guides. The only way we can compete with big business is to be faster, smarter, and better. We are the engine of the American economy. We create the jobs. Small business is about big commitment. It's about sacrifice and struggle. But we do it because we say, if I don't do this, my life won't be complete.